14 years ago, I was a student on the World Press Masterclass, and for me, it was the turning point in my photographic life. I hadn't been exposed to picture editors, I hadn't been exposed to the world of agencies and other international photographers. So for me, it was a very significant moment. So obviously coming here as now a teacher, master, yeah, it's very interesting. It also highlights your own development as a photographer, but at the same time, it's very nourishing to see the new generation of photographers. Yes. Well, I think the significant moment for me was when I created the work on domestic violence. I used to have an approach being very close, in my subject. And I used to invest a lot of time with my subject. And I was, in a way, even though I was present, I took on the approach of more the fly on the wall, more the reportage, quietly being there. And when I took on the domestic violence project, firstly, domestic violence doesn't happen before your eyes. And it's something that might have happened, and most of the time happened in the past. And I just felt as a photographer, visually, and the way I used to create the work, I just didn't want to go to a shelter, be that fly on the wall. And I wanted to find another vision or another way to present my work. And I created triptychs with sound. I mean, this was quite a long time ago. And for me, it was healthy, for me as a photographer and a person, and it also challenged me. But at the same time, I was in conflict about leaving that reportage style because I thought maybe I'm selling out, But at the same time, I matured, for me, in my photography, and it kept it alive for me. It wasn't just churning out, what I knew or what people wanted me to churn out. When I'm looking at work of my younger colleagues on the masterclass, I think I'm looking at work to see how they visually thinking. I really believe the photographs that sort of stand out for me, or the projects, are when it's a little bit more personal. And because I prefer when there's a little bit more interpretation, I think that's the work that stands out for me. And it's also, I think, what I'd like to do with the students is just, you have two schools here. And for me, it's try to encourage students to maybe open their minds slightly, to allow possibility for them to develop their photography. What's come up a lot in this masterclass is the word speaking about what is true and what about integrity. And is it wrong because, for example, in my triptychs, this is a good example, a woman spoke about being stabbed in the back by her husband. Now, this was something that happened in the past. So I took a knife that wasn't that specific knife, because I couldn't go ask the guy, please may I have the knife? And it was an interpretation of what she was feeling. Am I better or worse with less integrity because I did that? And that's what, I like it when there's a signature of a person in their work. And that's what I'm looking for. And that's what I hope I can give to the students. To try and find yourself in your own photography. That you're not just a recorder. Because I don't think recording is good enough.